What's this one?
Oh, we've always had something.
Oh, that's fucking classy.
Huh? We've never not had a little bit of something.
Right.
You usually don't pick it up.
Holy shit, that's loud.
It's supposed to be loud. I don't think that's anything. I think that's what we normally have.
Okay.
Yeah, we normally have a little bit of something. Regardless. I'll just hold it.
Yeah, thanks. Feels like a porn.
It came right back. We always have a little bit of something, I believe. 56.
Why are you so... Why is this way over there?
What do you mean?
That's way over there.
I had everything where it needed to be, and then they freaking moved it.
Then rap battle. It's fine. Don't even... No, shit's gonna fall. Just leave it.
I had everything perfect, and then they moved it. And then the rap battle happened.
Rap.
And I guess it got intense in here.
Rap battle. Did you see the photos and the videos?
No.
You're missing out.
I bet I am.
You're missing out. Welcome to... My audio sounds like shit.
Your audio sounds like shit. Oh, it's echoing in here.
It is echoing.
Yeah.
We forgot to hang the things.
Right.
I guess I could talk into the microphone. That could be beneficial.
That might help.
Hold on while we make this the worst cigar podcast.
Well, now, I've got some time to edit.
Okay. Let's try. Unscrew this guy. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds better.
Sounds better.
Let's see if we can... Oh, fucking Christ.
All right. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't want to...
There. I'm going to go like this.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, they're tight. Fucking out of breath.
Are you now?
No.
I really didn't want it right directly in front of my face.
Yeah, the crowd needs to see you.
Right. Well,
The audience.
I don't know about that.
The audience is like, please, Chuck, let's see your face.
Well, Andy might want to jerk off to this. I don't know.
Fuck.
All right, are we ready?
I think so. give it a start. You ready to give it a start? All right, what are we on, 56?
56.
Yeah, please keep all this in, because I think this is well worth all of it. It's kind of like watching a turtle on its back.
Are you going to unroll a Tatiana?
I am, because we haven't, and I did the other day for one of the rappers, and I just think the audience needs to see the Tatiana. All right, welcome to Unrolled, episode number 56. And my name is Mike, and this is Chuck. And we're going to smoke cigars, talk about nothing.
That doesn't look like a cigar.
This is a cigar, or a butt plug. I haven't figured it out.
Looks like something you buy at the sex shop.
Well, it could be. You know, from, what was it? Dildos to doobies. I drove by that shop today. It looks phenomenal.
What shop was that?
The weed shop that used to be Treasure Trove.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that place is gorgeous. Like, holy shit.
It's amazing that East Alton is putting time in these places, like that little spot, and then Eastgate.
Yeah.
And then over by the fire department stuff, they've been putting in a little time over there, too. When the town's full of meth heads.
Well, I mean, look.
The only people that live in East Alton are either on drugs or they've lived there so long that they just don't move out.
No, that's not true. Not everybody. You can't generalize.
It's
everybody.
old people. It's old people and fucking drug addicts.
So today I'm going to smoke a La Aurora Sapphire. And this is from 1903. It says it right on the brand new tube with a barcode. All right, let's make some more noise.
More loud noises.
Right. All right. Today, this is going to drop on Wednesday. The snow's supposed to come after that, so people will probably be watching this on Thursday. Do I not have my pin cutter?
Probably not.
Yeah, I do. All right.
Probably not.
We'll get this shit show started soon.
Eventually.
Maybe.
Maybe. Is that one of the fancy new ones? The Calibris?
Nope, this is Leo Stones.
Oh.
So I carry it around with me.
Oh.
Except for now. I'll set it there. So, yeah, so this was a gift. And I'm going to be a really bad gift receiver, not remember who brought it to me. It's from the Dominican Republic.
Go figure.
So, why is that?
Because aren't they all from the Dominican Republic?
No.
Nicaragua,
I mean,
etc.
you're talking about all kinds of different areas.
They're not from Colombia.
Sometimes they are.
Alrighty then.
I think I needed a cigar. Been kind of crabby since I woke up this morning. So
Angry.
How you feeling after yesterday's adventure? Fine?
I feel fine.
Yeah. I just got a missing skin right here.
Yeah.
So
I got a little bit of a cough, but from inhaling that crap, but no more than I would have if I worked in back. So.
Right. So yesterday, because the video might not ever come out because
failed miserably.
We might not ever get into this thing.
Right.
Chuck and I worked on this the safe down at the Alton Cigar Shop, in the back of the Alton Cigar Shop. We did get the first two safe doors open, and then we discovered there's two more.
And they're built really, really well.
They're fucking strong. So
really, really well. So
we're gonna have to bring in reinforcements as far as tools go. I think a drill.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. An electric drill and some brand new drill bits.
Yeah. So so I posted a picture of the safe before and the safe after,
right,
on Alton history, blah blah blah.
Right.
And I said, "What do you guys think's in it?" Because so far all we've discovered is more doors.
Right.
And so 160 something likes later and a bunch of comments, and some of them are fantastic. Some of the comments are, "Hey, you should really repurpose those doors. They're super cool." Yeah, they're 300 pounds a piece. You find me an installation that warrants that. I don't even want to put them in my truck. That's how heavy they are.
Well, not only that, but we carved them to death. Did you not see that part?
No, they didn't see that part. So, yeah. But we did save two of the little things. They're mostly together. The little things. The little squares that were on the outside of it.
Oh, yeah.
I think I might put those on the ceiling in there. So, John Lowe looks up what was at that address. And then in 1906, in the Telegraph, there was an ad. And it was the pawnbroker. It was a pawn shop in 1906.
At that address?
At that address.
So I wonder if he put that in.
So now I'm a little more excited about breaking into it. But as from owning a pawn shop and closing one down, I can guarantee that safe is empty.
Yeah, probably.
But, because, why? What's he going to leave? He's going to leave something, Well,
but what happened to the pawn shop? Does anybody know?
Mm-mm.
Well, see, you don't know what happened to it then.
So that explains the...
He might have locked that son of a bitch and walked away from it.
Yeah. So
he might have locked it and died from smallpox.
Yeah, he could have. So in 1906...
or been shot, because a lot of people got shot and murdered
Well,
and stabbed to death in Alton.
Well, we wondered why that's safe. So that safe had to been minimum of 1860 something, because that's when combinations came out. I want to say 61. So it had two combination locks, one on the concrete slash asbestos doors.
Right.
And then the second one is on the probably 5/8 thick.
More than 5/8.
You think it's more
than an inch?
It's not more than an inch.
Oh, the hell it ain't.
So anyway, we don't know how deep the steel is because we can't get through it. We know that we took a 4-inch cutoff wheel and ran them down to the nubs, and we barely got a hole. Barely got a hole. The first door came off. I was recording with the GoPro. I was holding the GoPro, and I was so excited the first door comes off, and so I can see what's in the safe before Chuck does. And I have the GoPro, and the safe door literally falls on Chuck. Chuck falls on a window from the 1800s.
Right.
And somehow the fucking window doesn't break, and he doesn't go through it. And all I hear is, help. These doors are so heavy. And I was trying to, so the second one falls out on me, which was odd because Chuck's like, no, you gotta catch the second door, because I caught the first door.
Right.
So the second door falls, and somehow it was on me, and it was literally going for the window. I was losing it, and I just happened to guide it to a brick frame of the window. So somehow this 1800s window is still intact after what can only be described as a clusterfuck of safe breaking in.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, I figured we would get some new drill and an actual electric drill with a cord.
Yeah, we need a badass drill.
And drill through the where the lock came through.
Yeah.
Probably be the best place to drill through.
You know, this is a very expensive cigar as far as I know.
Yeah.
And it's already broke.
Well, how old is it? How long has it been in the tin? You can't get humidified inside that tin, certainly.
Yeah, I don't know. It tastes good, though. I just needed a cigar. I needed to calm down for a minute. So I took the dogs to the groomers, dropped them off, because we have Christmas at our house. So I take the dogs to the groomers, right? Drop them off at 8 a.m., pick them up after the podcast. She texts me. Well, since we don't know what the weather's going to be on Thursday, we went from 3 dogs today to 11. So if you can pick them up right away, it'd be fantastic. Nah. Figure it out. You fucked up.
Well, I mean...
You fucked up.
We don't know what the weather's going to be on Thursday.
Right. I don't know what the weather's going to be on Thursday, Chuck, so...
I don't know what the weather's going to be today.
Right. I assume cold because it started out cold.
I seen a Facebook post that says it's going to be 14 inches of snow, but I highly doubt that happens. So...
Right. So anyway...
I mean, if it does happen, I'll be in this church parking lot over here in my piece of shit pickup truck.
Fuck, yes.
Donuts, so...
Did we take the fins off the green surfboard? Or are they still on?
I don't know.
Will your truck pull me on the surfboard?
Probably not.
Right.
That truck ain't going to go nowhere.
I think we put a safe door in the back, and then it's going to have all the traction.
Right. That's true.
The 2 safe doors would weigh more than the truck.
That truck's not going anywhere.
We're going to go nowhere.
So we do get 14 inches of snow.
So if you're watching this on Thursday because you took the day off because it's snowing, we probably took the day off as well. So just keep an eye out on the old Facebook.
I'll be here as soon as they plow the road.
I'll be here. I won't be here. I'll slide down the hill to the Alton store. That's about it.
Right. Get there easy.
Mm-hmm. Gravity will take me there.
And you just start on the sled.
Yeah, I might as well. Go find my discs and ride that bitch down.
Right.
When I used to live down there, a lot of times I'd just park my car downtown, out of the path of sliding Cadillacs.
Right.
And then I would just walk up the hill because you couldn't get up it.
Right.
So.
Right. That's why the Cadillacs were sliding down it.
Right.
Because they were trying to get up it.
No, they shot for it. It was just fantastic that somebody was recording and watched a Cadillac smash cars and fucking slide. I wonder how loud the screams were in that car. Just, it was probably 40 miles an hour sliding uncontrollably. It was fantastic.
Well, there's a grain silo at the bottom. You're not going nowhere.
Well, you're not hitting a river, for sure.
Right, yeah, you're
right.
okay.
Right. You're not hitting a river. And all those other cars slowed them down anyway. So
right. It's like bumper bowling.
Right. Absolutely. When I lived in Christian Hill, I lived on a pretty steep brick road. And the every time it would ice up, we had bricks, so it's hard to plow, blah, blah, blah. It froze over easy. So I would listen for the cars to hit the bricks, and then I'd run out to watch them smash into my curb because the roads did this.
Well, what's that street over by, it starts with an L, but I don't remember the name of it, over by Casey's. That's real steep. Them pole barn buildings are at the bottom of them. They're smashed. They fix them every year. They smash them every year.
Yeah. I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
Larimore or something like that.
Yeah, some.
By that Casey's on Main Street. That next street starts with an L. I just can't remember the name of it.
All those streets are fucking terrible.
But they fix that building every year, and every year that building's smashed. Every year it snows and gets shitty. The building's smashed.
Well, it's amazing how, it's like a poor neighborhood. So, like, tires aren't always the best, like, the first thing they purchase. And then they wonder why they slide out of control and smash shit,
Right.
So, it's like my memories came up when I was on Ridge watching the car go up the hill.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it's just sitting there it's in the catch-up. It's giving it all she's got, and it's going nowhere. And it's not even that big of a hill there. That's the best part.
No, it's not even that steep.
No, it's not at all. And it's just stuck because it's
no traction city.
Right. It was fantastic watching the cars there.
So, you've lived in Alton. You've been occupied plenty of them old buildings too, right?
Right. Yeah.
You believe in ghosts?
No.
We've talked about ghosts on here before, but I don't think I asked you if you believe. You don't believe in that?
I don't. So the house I lived in Christian Hill, 3 people have died around that house.
Well, maybe they just didn't like you.
So we brought in people.
I'm not hunting this asshole.
Well, yeah, we brought in people. So we brought in people like so there was girls. They died there. When they were building the house, a guy died building the house. They just buried him on the grounds.
Right. Well, I don't particularly believe in those people. So. Ghost hunters and shit like that. I don't particularly believe in those people.
Well, we were trying to get something going. I can tell you that I had 2 things happen to me when I lived in that house. So the house is 5,000 square feet. It's 3 stories. It looks creepy as shit on the outside. I don't know. I like the house. It was cool. It was just maintenance-wise and heat-wise. It was $1,800 every 2 weeks to heat the house. It was insane. So I did the shower up so far, and then there was concrete board above it, right? So I was taking a shower one day, and I was by myself in the house, and then I felt on my shoulder, on the top of my shoulder. And it wasn't light. Like, it was like a police officer getting ready to arrest you. Like, it was a forceful double tap on my traps. And I'm like, okay. So, you're always a little more vulnerable whenever you have shampoo in your hair and, your dick's out. And so I pulled the curtain back and I quietly yelled if anybody was there. And, of course, there's no answer. So I take a step in the shower and the rock fell from the concrete board. It fell down, hit my shoulder. Explained, right? No ghost. There's another time I was kind of like in that twilight, like right when I was falling asleep.
Wait though.
Yeah.
Was there concrete in the shower?
Mm-hmm.
From both times?
It was just one time. Well, I mean, it was a big rock.
But that's when you step back in. So what was the first one?
No. I was in the shower. I never got out of the shower. And I saw the rocks down there. So it was probably 2 rocks.
Okay.
So the only thing that we couldn't really explain was I was falling asleep. I'm in that twilight. I'm in the bedroom, 2nd floor. And it was a 3-story building. And so the building was finished in 1856. That's when it was finished. I think it took 10 years to build, right? So, and then was it mirrors or the portal to the other side or whatever? So I had, if you went up the staircase, and it was a pretty grand staircase, you went up the staircase, I had probably 29, 30 mirrors wrapped in this on the walls, right? Tons and tons of mirrors. So I'm getting ready to fall asleep. You're in that weird twilight. I literally hear something scrape down the wall and shatter. So I get up, I look around the bedroom, I don't see anything. Open the door, I don't see anything. I'm like, whatever. So I go back to sleep. So I wake up the next day, I go upstairs, I had a gym on the 3rd floor, work out, I come down the stairs, I see one of the mirrors had slid down, probably from 6-7 feet. Slid down and was sitting there, but not broken at all. No breakage. I distinctly remember hearing breakage.
Right.
So I put that mirror back, and that was the only 2 incidents.
Well, you were one person in a 5,000 bedroom, 5,000 square foot house.
Yeah. I mean, there could have been crackheads in like a wing I didn't see. But
right. I mean, there could have been stuff happening all over. You just weren't in that particular room at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it had like 4 or 5 bathrooms. There's bathrooms I never used. One time, actually, I think I purposely used every bathroom before I moved out. So, that's when I had one of those jobs and I had money.
Right.
You're right. Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't believe in the ghost hunters anyway, because they're just, especially the ones on TV, they're just making shit up.
No, I mean, I don't.
That Zach Douchebaggins is the worst for it. He's ruining lives making shit up. So,
oh, yeah.
So, but I'm curious because we've been having the baby a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes she'll just stare off at something, and she's looking at something.
Right.
And there's nothing there. She's looking at something.
Right.
It's like, what? And then every once in a while, she'll get super nervous.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what she's doing. She gets super nervous and starts looking around, and I just always wondered what she's. I wonder what. I mean, I've been to. I believe in it. I've had a couple of experiences that are unexplainable, and both of them involve a Ouija board.
Okay.
So, both of them, and like I won't let a Ouija board in my house.
Really?
No. So, what's in that cigar?
I don't know.
But anyway, I've been to Waverly Hills Sanitarium on an overnight. I've been in McPike Mansion. We broke into McPike Mansion a couple different times.
Who hasn't?
Who hasn't, right?
All right.
So I remember going all the way up into that bell tower or whatever it is. But somebody said you haven't been able to go up there since like 1960 something or something like that. But I distinctly remember going up there.
The Widow's Watch.
Yeah, the very top. I distinctly remember going up there.
I think I've been up there, and that would have been in the 90s.
Right. Probably on a different weekend from when I went up there. So
oddly, yeah.
So I just wonder what she sees, because she's looking at something.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean,
there's no reason for my house to be haunted. I don't think my house is haunted.
No, right,
I mean,
right.
You hear I hear noises that aren't real all the time anyway. So, but
it's like, well, do any of the pets act weird? I mean, besides your one that jumps off the stairs for no fucking reason.
Well, she's just having spastic episodes.
So that's why you jump off stairs.
No, well, I think what happens is she gets super excited. She gets like overly excited and just like starts running,
right.
and then by the time she gets over a whole entire flight of stairs downwards, and smashes off the wall,
yeah.
she's
nice.
Obviously fucked up. I couldn't dive head first down the staircase and smash off a wall and then get up and go, oh
yeah, I'm good.
What's up?
Yeah, it's well, you gotta remember the baby's taking everything in. Like, there's so much newness,
right?
So I mean, it's probably just trying to understand what it's seen. So
yeah, I don't. I was just curious about, like, why are you freaking out
right.
for no reason?
Right,
like out of nowhere, it just starts freaking out.
Right.
So She's done it twice. She's just kind of freaked out twice. And you have to pick her up and carry her around. And the whole time you're carrying her around, she's like diving around your head.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Seeing something.
Whatever I just did there, got rid of my feedback.
Oh, I still have feedback.
But yeah, she's like diving around and in your head, like looking.
Huh.
And it's like, what are you looking at?
Something's freaking her out.
Right, there's nothing there.
Something's freaking her out.
I've been wondering about that, though, for a while now.
So your house was moved from the airport property.
Yeah, from
Mary Drive to where it's at now. What was that property before the house went on it?
Empty lot.
It was just empty. Yeah, it wasn't like an old cemetery or anything like that.
We used to play in that lot all the time.
Sacred Indian burial ground.
I mean, that could be anywhere.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, so. Very, very true. So I've been at the Alton building, the yoga building.
Yeah, and that's why I was wondering, because you got that yoga building now and that old building.
Right.
And
I tell you what, where Jeff's wedding was probably creepier than
that yoga building's pretty creepy. You start going upstairs, and upstairs.
Yeah, it's weird is because it was built one way, then they combined two buildings. So like 300 Piasaw and 100 West 3rd. They combined those two buildings, right?
With zero building code in mind when they did it.
Yeah, no. And so I'm like, because I'm like, I'm going to restore 300 Piasaw back and make it, cool. And then I was looking, I'm like, well, most of 300 Piasaw is actually the yoga studio. And, I'm like, well, no wonder this building's so fucking confusing. It's actually two buildings.
Right. That's
why it doesn't make any sense at all.
Right. Well, it doesn't make any sense.
No. So, for a while, I was really mad. Like, they replaced these steel I-beams, right? Or they replaced the brick wall with the steel I-beams on the first floor. And when they did that, it looks really fantastic. And they go so far back, and then the steel I-beams make a left instead of going all the way back to the building. Well, that's where the two buildings were.
Oh, that's really neat.
Yep. So I was like, that makes more sense now. So it only took me 1 year to figure out why the fuck you would stop here and then make a left.
Right.
So that's where my building or the second building was. I'd like to, since you got running vehicles, and I can take that old crap truck again, I'll start cleaning out that, keep cleaning that place out. So I had an idea for windows.
Windows.
Yeah, in that yoga building.
Oh.
On the second, third floor.
Right.
So I was looking at another building in Alton, and my buddy lives in it. And so he's got 3 like triple pane or triple size window openings, right? I think he's got 3 windows in each. Either way. On the very corner of it, it's actually opened up, and he's got a patio, if you will. They just framed it in and built a freaking patio there. So F your windows.
Right.
You put a little glass door or whatever. You can go out and you got a covered patio.
Right. So basically, they took a room and just didn't put the windows back in it.
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah. And then they just made it. He's got a TV out there and plants and ceiling fan and everything. So I was like, well, that's a pretty good idea. So, and then that would save me. I mean, it's probably the same price, but it adds a lot to the building because now you can go out on the patio and listen to the grain silos go.
Yes.
So that's about.
You go out on the patio and breathe that white crap in.
Yes.
From the grain silo.
Yes.
Listen to the highway.
Right. And the trains. Can't forget the trains.
There's trains that run through down there?
Yeah, because of the grain silo. They fill the cars up.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know trains still run. When did they run? I've never seen a train run through there.
All the time. I've
never seen it.
I hear them all the time. Well, I'm down there all the time now.
Right.
So I was on the second floor of the cigar shop today. And I was like, I just need money. Like, it's just so, like, I don't know. I think that's why I'm so pissy. Like,
yeah, that one would be cool. That'd make a cool apartment up there.
Man, it'd be a sick apartment. It really would. And it's like, but man, it's just, probably 30-40 grand away.
Right.
At least. And I mean, it's already framed out.
I don't think it's 30, 40 grand.
Well,
it's quite a bit of money away, though.
Heat, air. I mean, all that shit needs to be done.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's just money.
Well, put one of them awesome split units in up there. See?
I'll probably never put a mini split in a place that I'm going to live.
Right. No, they're awesome.
Now, they're
efficient. Mm-hmm. They work so well.
They are efficient. The bills do go down because they don't work very well. So.
Because you just turn them off. Mm-hmm. And then you pull the little space heater over and you huddle over it all day long.
Well, you know what? You don't turn it off. It turns itself off because it's just tired of it. So maybe if I had proper insulation, who knows? Who knows? I don't.
Probably not.
I'm at the end. I'm at my end. I'm done. I have no cash.
Probably not.
We still got 3 more months of garbage to go.
I'm surprised that normally I'm fairly busy with gift certificates and that kind of thing, and it's just not been.
That's what that guy was just doing this morning.
You know what I hate about this time of year, though?
What's that?
I don't know what I want or what I'm buying, and I'm not going to listen to anything you suggest to people.
Well, I think it's in the delivery. You just have to go here. Here's one light one. Here's one dark one. Here's one medium.
I pointed all the things I smoked. There you go. These are all good.
Right. Just look at whatever we have extra in inventory and push the fucking extra shit.
But they come in and it's always some older lady. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. Maybe let me send this person a message. Oh my God, here we go. Right. I was watching TV. Come on.
Right. Are you done with the 100 yet?
I've got 5 episodes left.
Jesus Christ.
But I figured out why Bad Itch actually told me why it's so kind of corny.
What?
It was on CW.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It was on Channel 11. It's literally a soap opera, though.
Yeah, it was on Channel 11.
I'll be damned.
They almost lost me, though, because we went from Earth to a completely different planet. And I was like, come on. And I was like, okay, fine. They were in a space shuttle surviving for 100 years. This isn't too far. Whatever, fine.
Fine. That's what got you?
Right. Fine. Fine. And then those people were body snatchers, and I was like, come on. But now they've gone into some space vortex anomaly thing, and I'm like, oh, God, I'm done.
Well, you got to finish it out.
Right.
Yeah, you got to finish it out.
I'm like, there's still good spots, but it's like this is gone off the rails. You've just gone completely. This is why it's ended. This is why this is the last season, because you started snorting cocaine. Well, going into space anomalies.
Think of the writers though. Like, what are we going to do this season that's different than the first 4 seasons?
Well, right. So you got to give that to them because at least it's not zombies.
Right.
It's not 25 seasons of zombies.
I would have loved to have seen, what was that, The Walking Dead?
Yes.
It was super popular. I would have loved to have seen.
It's still super popular.
Is it really?
Yes.
Is it still on?
Yes.
No,
Josh was watching it the other day, and they lost so much
way.
Originality that there's now stormtroopers.
No. What?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. And Josh goes, well, they're not really stormtroopers. And I go, dude, the uniform, it's a padded white uniform with helmets. And they're freaking storm. Well, it's based off the comic book. And fine. So the comic book guy went stormtroopers because he was out of ideas.
Right. I didn't know that show was still on.
Yes, it's ending this year. I think this whatever season it's on is over this year.
It's got to be like season 49 or something.
I've seen 3 episodes.
I've seen
more than that because I've seen a couple episodes on accident, like Josh was watching.
Right.
And but I've seen on purpose. I've seen 3 episodes, and I was like, how are they going to continue zombies? It's just zombies. It's not even that complicated.
Like, how many zombies are there? Like, they keep finding alive people, I just wanted that show to be like where they just, like, built a fort, and then they lived in the fort in harmony, and that was it. Why is it?
Well, you can't do that because humans. That's kind of what's happening with... that's kind of what the 100 is you can't live in harmony because people aren't going to live in harmony. It's just never going to happen.
Just shoot
We
'em.
are this terrible, terrible species.
I want to tell you, like, when
And it's all ego.
when everybody was staying home for COVID, I don't think I was ever happier
Right.
than that moment. Like, just like because the roads were empty, you
Right.
know, and it was just me and my motorcycle and me and my dog, and I was in heaven.
Right.
I really was. And you know, I think I'm a people person, you know, until there was no people, and then I went,
This
well,
is great.
this is pretty nice. It's kind of wild how, like, you know, like that changed, like, what I want to do. Like that whole retire to Belize thing, that's a thing now. Like in the mountains, though.
You'd have thought, this is what I would have thought. I would have thought something like that would have knocked the ego down, on a whole, as a species, the ego down a step or two. You know what I mean? And it didn't. It made it worse, actually. So,
Well, it made it worse for me because
'Cause-
I got, you know, I never in all these years, you know, what are we on, year 3 of the?
well, I'm not
year
talking
2?
about individual. I'm talking about as a species.
No.
Listen, as a species, that should have taught us that the planet can say "fuck you"
Yeah.
at any second,
Right.
and that's that.
And I bet it has to some groups of people. I mean, you know,
But not as a species. As a species, we're just like, nice try,
right.
nice try, planet.
Well, you know, if the governments wouldn't have gotten involved, it might have. You know, I don't know. It just seemed like a whole entire hoax to me. You know, I mean, because that was how it was spun.
Well, they definitely blew it way out of proportion.
Right.
And I can prove that to you over and over and over
Sure.
and over and over.
You know,
again
and that's
because I lost my freaking mind about it for 2 months.
Right.
So I read everything. And anybody who's smart enough to start adding things together and paying more attention to what they're reading every day would have had the same epiphany I had. Well, wait a minute.
Right.
It's on the AC controls in your car. Well, then that means I already had it.
Right.
So who cares?
Right.
I mean,
Right. No, it was so ridiculous.
how did it get there?
Right.
How did it get on the AC controls in my car?
How did a ship that was at sea forever end up with it? You know, that was slick.
Wasn't it? I do that at least once a day.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's good. At least you're consistent.
Right. It'll dry, just like every time I fill that stupid humidifier.
I never get wet filling a humidifier. I saw the whole floor was wet the
Yeah,
other
that's
day.
because I can't see the line.
Yeah, I got to study it.
Right.
So I had to fill it this morning. Probably need filled again before the end of the day because, God forbid, we have any humidity in the winter.
I filled it Saturday night when I left, but I come up here Sunday just to look
Right.
because I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but
Right.
nothing good. And I forgot about it. So
Well, yeah. Then we weren't really up here yesterday because we were
Right.
wrestling fucking safe doors.
right.
I'm really curious what the weight is of that. And where do we put it? Like, we're not putting it in the dumpster. How are we going to pick that up and put it in the dumpster?
Oh yeah.
Where does it
Yeah.
go?
We'll have to put it. I mean, it's all steel. We can probably scrap it.
It's all concrete.
Scrap it someplace. Yeah, I don't know that anybody will take it. Come to think of it, because
Right.
it's got all that concrete in it.
Right.
We'll have to find one of them walk-in dumpsters that somebody's just set up,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
an empty one.
And then throw the truck in reverse and then slam on the brakes and hopefully it slides the
Right.
fuck
It
out
won't- it
and
won't.
not rip the bed off.
It won't.
Make sure we film that. Good thing we got that pile of shit truck, that
Right.
heavy half.
Better probably will rip off that.
I know.
If it catches one little bit, the whole
it's gonna-
back of the frame's going.
Well, if it catches that fucking ball in the center of it, we're doomed. We can't even put it on the tailgate. It's going to bend the fucking tailgate back.
Right.
I mean, dude,
I don't know who you'd get it to put it in the bed.
yeah. I mean, I could park maybe like at a hill and, dude, I'm probably going to take a jack over there and have to like jack it up and then push it off of the jack once I get it outside.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
a clusterfuck.
I don't know.
We should have just left the doors on. But now I know it was a pawn shop in 1906.
Right.
I'm really curious what the hell's in there.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Somebody's in there. Isn't it kind of weird though that it was a pawn shop in 1906?
It is kind of weird. I wonder if it had been open since that place closed though. You don't know when the last time it was opened was.
No, it could have been open in the 50s.
Right.
You know, it could have been open whenever.
Right.
Like, I don't know anything about this pawn shop. I did a little homework. What a nightmare. You know, it's like Google's fucking just showing me ads. Like, oh, did you want to go to Sam's? No, I don't want to go.
DB Cooper.
All these fucking all this bullshit. I'm like, I just want to look up history. You know.
DB Cooper. Retired in Alton, Illinois.
I don't know who DB Cooper is.
He's the guy that hijacked the airplane, demanded $200,000, and then jumped out.
How do you get paid?
So he hijacks this airplane in. I just watched a series on him last night because they think they've figured out who he's dead now, but they think they figured out who it was.
Okay.
And I think they're right, but they do a good job of selling it. Of course, them documentaries always do, but he got in an airplane in Portland.
Okay.
And so he flew from Portland to Seattle, which is like half an hour.
Right.
And so in the meantime, he basically said, I got a bomb. This is what I want.
Right.
You're delivered in Seattle. And so they stayed in the air for like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Because they were getting all this stuff together.
Okay.
He wouldn't let them land. So finally he lets them land. And he lets the people off. They give him the money. Only the crew and only the crew was left on the plane. It lets all the passengers off. And then it takes off from Seattle going somewhere else. I don't remember. Reno, maybe?
Okay.
I don't remember where. But
straight to the fucking brothels.
Going someplace else.
Right.
And he jumps out.
With $200,000?
So he demanded $200,000
right.
in 4 parachutes.
Okay.
He demanded 4 parachutes. That way they wouldn't give him dummy parachutes.
Oh.
So when he jumped out, it's just because it's the 70s.
Right.
And it's totally sounds like something they would do.
Okay.
We'll just give him bad parachutes.
Let him jump to that.
He'll splat on the ground and we'll find him.
Right. Somebody will find him.
So he demanded 4. That way they thought he would take hostages.
Right.
He's going to take hostages. So we can't give him dummy parachutes.
Right.
He jumps. So anyway, he opens the rear door of the plane and jumps out, like over like mid-flight. Just jumps out.
Okay.
And they've never found a trace of him since.
No fucking way.
No idea who he was. They had no idea forever who he was or where he was.
Really?
Nothing. They found $6,000 of the money.
Did they have it marked? Like
I assume they probably
knew,
but they probably didn't mark all of it.
You knew what numbers were what.
Right. They probably marked some of it.
Right.
And I guess maybe he was good enough to figure out, well, these are probably the ones that are marked, and you know what I mean.
Right.
So, so they think it was this dude, Rick. I'm gonna forget his name now. I just watched it last night too, and I forgot his name already. Rickshaw. Something. Maybe it was. Yeah, it was Robert Rickshaw. They think that's who it was, and he fits it perfectly, and he would never actually deny it. Of course, why would you? Because, I mean, you're not going to admit it because, there's probably no statute of limitations on hijacking an airplane. So you're never going to actually admit it. But if you're getting all the attention, why would you just flat out deny it? But they found all these FBI documents and all. Like, he was a suspect originally, but they couldn't tie it to him.
Right.
And he had the training. He had special forces training. He was known for building bombs. Like, he got arrested one time for building bombs.
Okay. Did they find a bomb on the plane?
He had. No, I guess he took it with him.
Oh.
I don't know why you would take the bomb with you.
Okay.
But, like, how do you decide which briefcase is which at that point, I guess? But, they never found him. They think he was this, and this guy's died since
right.
recently. He's passed away recently. But, they never actually figured out who it was.
So on the guy's deathbed, he didn't admit to it. So it's probably not him. I mean, if you're gonna die and you did something like that, wouldn't you fess up?
I don't know. All the old interviews that they showed with him, and he would say. So supposedly he was. Supposedly they had concrete evidence it was him.
Right.
Right. This is one of the rumors, and it's a really interesting. It's on Netflix. It's really interesting. You should watch it. But so the rumors are that they had him, like the FBI had him dead to rights,
right.
And he was involved with the CIA, which is proven that he had CIA contacts, and he may have even been in the CIA, and it's, supposedly they had him dead to rights, and then all of a sudden they didn't have him dead to rights no more, as if somebody showed up and went, "No, you don't have this guy dead to rights." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, no, this is not your guy. So, yeah, they've never.
What's the show called on Netflix?
I don't remember now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's about DB Cooper. So, you can probably just go to Netflix, search, and type DB Cooper, and it'll probably come up.
Right.
The intro was really cool. They did a good job with the intro. It sounded like an old '70s spy movie intro. It was well put together. Well put together. So, he was taunting them. He was taunting news, and he was sending letters.
Really?
Like taunting them
Right.
after he got away. And there was encryption on them, so they had some guy come in and code break them, and he was able to say, "Oh, well, this is the code he's using," and it was a Special Forces code. And this guy was in Special Forces, so he would have known this code. You know what I mean? So they had a lot of good evidence to prove that it was him. What do they call that when it's not definitive evidence? It's
Circumstantial.
Circumstantial. Yeah, they had a lot of good circumstantial evidence to prove that it was him. I watched another one before that you'd like. This guy ripped off the IRS for, in total, $4 million.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah, so he learned how to file false tax returns. And this was in like 2004 and up.
Right.
He learned how to file false tax returns. You'll really like the end of this story. So he learned how to file false tax returns using dead people. Right.
Okay.
So he writes a computer program that does it for him. That fills out the paperwork and sends it into these to the Easy File websites. Right. H&R Block's website. What's the other one? The big one. Whatever. But he writes this computer program that does it. So now he doesn't even have to fill these forms out on his own anymore. He writes this computer program and he just sets it up and lets it run. And it dumps to these false prepaid debit card accounts. Right? It just dumps into and so he's making so much money he's got to farm out people to pick the money up. He's got to farm out bank accounts.
Really?
He's making so much money. And he's like, every once he's out right now. He didn't even go to trial till he did this for a long time, and he didn't even go to trial till 2017 or some shit. He's out.
Right.
He's out. So, but he was like, sometimes you wouldn't get it. The bank would flag it,
Right.
and so you wouldn't get your money. And he goes, but that happened 1 out of every 10 times. So you're making all this money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. He was making, and sometimes he just let it sit. So they came after him one time. They figured out they didn't figure out who he was yet, but they got one of his accomplices with the bank accounts. Like they busted this guy, and so they had this guy set him up with one of his drops for his money, right? So they go there, they stake the drop out and everything, and he gets away with the money, like he runs away from them with the money. And $63,000. And so they're like, "Oh, he got away, right?" And is that a Tatiana?
Says Tatiana. Keep going.
Short filler. Garbage. Anyway, so he gets away. And so they use and this is how he got away with it. They use a thing called a stingray to track down exactly where he is, which to the apartment and everything. Which I'm not going to go through. They're questionable. They're not really. They're using them, but they're not supposed to be using them because it's kind of like a warrantless search. And but so they finally catch him. But like he lets $340,000 sit for 4 days. He doesn't go pick it up because of the last time he went and picked it up. Right. He lets it sit. But other than if they hadn't done this illegal tactic thing to find this guy, they would have never found him.
Really?
And he was able. So he's sitting in prison, right? He's sitting in a pretrial detention center. And they pretty much got him. He's dead to rights. They've got him. Right. So he was smart enough to mostly cover his tracks, but you start pulling other people in, you're going to get busted.
Right.
So, and that's exactly what happened. So they had him dead to rights, but he finds out that they used this stingray thing, right, to bust him, and he's like, nope. And he starts filing motions after and like he's representing himself. Oh wow! And he's doing such a good job at representing himself that all the other lawyers and stuff involved were like, dude, this dude he's brilliant. Normally, they screw themselves when they do this, And so what he doesn't get away with it scot-free, but he sat in the detention center 5 years and 8 months or something like that. That's all he got. They gave him time served and turned him loose because if he had gone to trial, got convicted, which they weren't even sure.
Right.
They were like, we got him dead to rights, but man, you know what I mean?
Right.
But if they had, he would have appealed. And appealing would have brought this stingray thing more into the public eye.
Right.
And so to bury it, because they didn't want to talk about it, bury it, they were just like, here's a plea deal. See you later. So he was buying gold. And this is where I think he screwed up. I told Sarah, well, he's dumb. He shouldn't have kept that. If you're going to have an accomplice you trust to hold your gold.
Right.
Or you got all this money anyway, pay up on a storage unit to hold all this gold. Or it's just like a safe or something. You've got all these fake IDs, you've got all this, you've got all that. Just, you know what I mean? Just store the gold somewhere. And but he didn't. He kept it in the same storage unit he was keeping the cash in. And what it comes down to is they got greedy because he just wanted to like get enough to escape society, like go to Belize and live, and he had more than enough to live in Belize, and he just kept going and going and going and going and going. But at the end of it, the guy representing the IRS talking about it, the guy their representative says we actually made money. Because the gold had appreciated in value so much through the course of the 5 years that we had actually made more than he took when we cashed it.
Oh shit, that's wild. Wonder if he stored any. Oh, it was 2000. So I was like, wonder if he stored any in a pawn shop in Alton.
Well, he had to have stored something somewhere because they were interviewing him and he was nicely dressed.
Sure.
And I mean,
well, he gets paid for that interview too. I mean, he's getting paid from all that shit.
He had to have kept something though. I mean, as smart as he was, he had something squirreled away somewhere.
Yeah, he probably had an accounts officer.
That he was able to sit in that 5 years. He was able to sit there and go, I'll sit here and read law books for 5 years.
Right.
You have to provide me all this stuff, and you've given me nothing else to do. Why wouldn't I sit and comb through my case files?
Right.
Why wouldn't I sit and, you know what I mean?
I'm curious what a stingray is.
So it's this radio transmitter receiver thing. Okay. And they load it in a van. And they're able to drive around and they pick up every cell phone that's in use in like a 2 block, 3 block radius. Right. But what they do is they trace your IP so you can trace an IP address all the way down to like a 4 mile radius. Right. So, and then what they do is they get this thing and they put it in the van with the unit on top, the satellite on top, and they just drive around until they figure out which one, you know what I mean? And they just pick up everything and they're like, okay, this is some housewife. This is our guy. Right. They just drive around the 4-mile radius.
Right.
Until they capture the one they're looking for. And then when they do that, they're able to go, all right, we're right here, so he's got to be in that building over there. He has to be. So, and that's how they had him all the way down to the building. When they arrested him, when they picked him up, he had the keys to his apartment in his pocket, of course.
Right.
So they just took the keys back to that building and started sticking it in doors until it fit.
Jesus.
So
like that's how they used to listen in before. It was all proximity. Like,
yep.
So they would literally drive around and pick up frequencies and then or fly around.
Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were using when they did it, was versions of this Stingray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm going back to like the 70s and 80s. They would drive around. I'm sure, you know, it was old school versus what they have even now.
Right.
But I mean, you know, everybody wanted to be so digital. Well, now you are this number.
Yep. Now you're everywhere.
You are this number. And it's so easy to listen and do whatever.
And they have everything.
Oh yeah.
They have everything.
Everything.
Everything. They are. It's not so much that they're listening to you, but they are compiling everything you do somewhere.
Oh sure.
So that eventually, if you ever do something like blow up a building or something like that, they'll have all this mountain.
They'll have everything.
Yeah, they've got your entire digital history.
They are currently building a case against you.
Yep.
Before you even commit a crime.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's. I was, you know, and I'm sure there's ways around it now, but I mean.
Well, he was using the VPN stuff. It wasn't called VPN back then, I don't think. But he was using VPN stuff. You know, he was covering his tracks pretty good. But they were able to. His downfall was this Verizon Air Card, which if he'd have been smart, he'd have took it. He was smart, but like he wasn't smart enough to know that they were on to him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He wasn't paranoid enough to know that they were on to him.
Right.
Whereas me, if I had been smart enough to do this, I'd also been paranoid enough to go, that van don't look right.
Right.
And I need to take steps to make sure that if that is,
my shit's covered.
Yeah, I've got enough that I might be able to get away with it. You know what I mean? Like take the air card and put it in a mailbox or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get it out of my apartment while I'm gone.
What was the air card? It was like a hotspot?
Yeah, like a Verizon hotspot.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
That was your internet for a laptop back then.
Right.
So you stuck it in your... You remember laptops used to have that big open hole?
Yep.
That's where it went.
Nice. Yeah, no, they... you know, I used to be able to tether my phone to get my laptop to work, to get on the internet, you know, back in early 2000s.
Right. Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Yeah.
It was like a tethered, it
right.
was a hotspot. So, but he wasn't paranoid enough to realize, and the way he learned how to do it is they had busted another guy, and another guy was on these forums where these guys talk about this, and we're not talking about the dark web now.
Right.
We're talking about regular old internet. There's a forum out there, for regular old internet.
Right.
Or there used to be. There's no such thing as forums no more. It's probably a Facebook group these days.
Right.
And
that's even worse.
Man, because these people aren't that bright. And this guy got busted, and the Secret Service paid him to be on this forum to like bait people.
Yeah.
To bait people, and that's how what he was baiting this guy, but this guy cut contact. Like he taught this guy how to do this, so they could monitor him and watch him and get him. This guy cut contact. Once he learned how to do it, he cut contact, and
it's amazing how many times
they lost him.
It's amazing how many times the government will get involved to set you up.
Mm-hmm.
To set you up, they're gonna, you know. I mean, maybe I don't know what the definition of entrapment is, but they literally will create a scenario to take advantage of your weakness. Right. So let's say, like, I'm really broke right now.
Right.
You know, super, like, depressing broke. And if somebody came to me with a job that was paid out really well,
right,
And the whole time, it's all law enforcement.
Hundreds of thousands a week.
Right.
A week.
You know, I mean, how do you say no?
A week.
You know, it's like, and then...
No, you're watching it. Like, people like us are watching. I'm watching it going, I wonder if you can still do this.
Right.
Like, I know how he got busted, so I just...
Don't do that side.
I just won't get... You know what I mean? I won't pull other people in. I'll just use the dummy cards myself.
Right.
And when I get enough, I'll skip out and we'll get greedy.
I'm
not a greedy person.
You know what I mean? You gotta figure out where that cap is. It's whether a time frame,
right,
or a dollar amount.
Well, we know that every investigation takes at least 6 months to start.
6 to 18, depending on the infraction.
Right.
So
6 to 18 months to start, and then there's a time period from that 6 to 18 months where they're building a case against you before they ever come after you.
Right, which is normally 9 months to a year.
Right. So
you got about 2 years, and you know, you got a year before anybody knows your name.
Right.
So, and then if you get out,
and that's if you get big enough for them to even pay attention to want to know your name.
Exactly right. Yeah, no, I get frustrated when it's always somebody, you know, like, we're gonna set you up to, you know, and it's like Leo led the whole way, you know, some law enforcement the whole way.
Right. So that's what I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, well, they didn't lose him. It was just, at that point, it was entrapment. Because this guy working for law enforcement told him how to do it.
Right.
Of course he's going to do it. Why wouldn't you? If you tell me 100,000, so that's, at that point, it's got to be entrapment. You got to let him run long enough to you know, get away from that part of it. You got to run him long enough, like, okay, well, you know, we didn't tell him to do it for 2 years, you know what I mean, or whatever. So I actually wondered if they actually lost him, or if he actually cut ties and that's how they lost him, or if because he was moving it, so he had all these fake IDs, which is how he got started. He was making fake IDs, and he didn't have apartments in his name. He didn't have banking. Like, he was a complete ghost. Like, he was gray man, 100% the gray man theory, and this guy was him. So, I wonder if they lost him, or if they let him go and then lost him. You know what I mean? They let him go not thinking that he had all this other stuff.
Right.
You know. Yeah, he got 5 years, almost, in total, like $2 million of it he never got to get. Like, of course they added all of it. You know what I mean? When they catch you with an eighth bag, they weigh everything. The bag and whatever.
The fucking scales in there.
They'll weigh your dugout. If they catch you with a dugout, you get charged with whatever that dugout weighs, because they're not digging it out.
Right.
So, so they charge him with money that the banks held.
Right.
Like, the bank said, well, looks like fraud. You're not getting it. And you know what I mean? They charge him. He was filing tax returns that were netting him close to like $250,000 at a time, and I was like, how do you not know that that's fraudulent? How does the IRS not catch that as fraudulent? But I guess it's because they didn't have all these new IRS agents with ARs. Right.
Yeah, it took them, when I got federally audited, it probably took them 5 years, you know, and they said, hey, 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Did you have a $70,000 electric bill? And I'm like, doesn't sound right.
Well, not that I know of.
Right. And they're like, well, that's what you claimed on your taxes. And I'm like, well, I'm sure that was a mistake. And they're like, yeah, we're going to come figure it out.
Right.
And that's how it goes.
We're going to come figure this out for you. Thanks.
So the person that did my taxes had to replace his car windshields.
I like the meme where it's hi, we're the IRS. We know exactly what you owe, but we're not going to tell you. We're going to let you figure it out. And if you get it wrong, you're in trouble.
Right. Yeah. No, that's exactly right.
If you get it wrong, you're in deep shit. Yeah. We know the number.
Right. And that's what was crazy was, so when the federal audit was done on me, they said, okay, you owe $60,000, and I'm like, well, that's a lot of dough. So,
Right.
I get that worked out, and then the state goes, well, hey, if you owe federal 60
You owe us
grand,
too.
you owe us our percent.
Well, of course, the state of Illinois did.
Well, yeah. So
Right.
then now I have then I had a state tax. It took me years to pay that shit off.
Someone said, "Oh, you're paying the IRS. Well, you gotta pay Madigan's Gold Toilet Fund here, bud.
Right.
You gotta."
What was it that? Remember we had the was it a
Madigan's sitting someplace rubbing his hands, going, "Daddy needs a new car."
$2 billion? What was that last big lottery? Was it up to $2 billion? I feel like it was.
1 point something, yeah,
Right.
1 point something billion.
Do you know that was the first billionaire to pay all his taxes? Everybody else has figured out loopholes to move that money around, but that poor
Right.
schmuck had to pay all of it right then.
Still a billionaire.
Well, close
millionaire.
enough. Yeah, close
A
enough.
couple $100 million.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
I just want one.
If I can get one, bro. That's all I need is one. I'm so,
One. I don't even want one. You can give me half.
bro.
Give me half, and you'll never see me again. I'll disappear.
Man,
I don't know how to make half work for the rest of my life,
I could,
and still spend it like an idiot. You know what I mean?
right.
So
No, it's I
still build airbag minivans.
I'm
with it.
still-
So
I'm so tired of nickels. It's just fucking driving me crazy. It just doesn't even make sense anymore.
I don't know.
It's that time of year, seasonal depression. When the sales slow, I get depressed. If it was warm here all year,
Right.
we wouldn't have.
Oh yeah.
We wouldn't
Yeah.
have seasonal depression because
Be all right.
people keep buying cigars.
Be all right.
If we hit this recession like next year, like they're fucking really claiming, and it's shaping up to be that way already.
That needs to be. Might need to start thinking about a pawn shop. if they're saying we're gonna have a recession, because
Well.
that's
202 state.
when that kicks in.
I'm gonna bring back the 1906.
So
I'll just do it right there. Put cigars on the second floor, first floor is pawn shop.
oh, I bought gold the other day
Did you?
from this lady,
Nice.
and she got mad
Of course you did.
because I said I bought gold,
Mhm.
so of course
Right,
she did,
Right.
and she I think Badich was in here, and I said he goes, Chuck, you sounded confident in that number, but confident in a way, and I go, well, yeah, I go, I'm not confident in what I'm looking at.
Right.
Like I test it and everything, but I'm
Right.
not confident in what I look at. So I always err on the side of caution.
Right.
Like if I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose as little as possible.
Sure.
So I said, and that's the way I work it. If they don't like it, then go on down the road. There's plenty of places to go. I don't care if I buy it or not. I don't
Right,
care.
Right.
And I basically told her that, and then so she comes back in a couple minutes later and she wants it back,
Right.
and I told her no.
Oh.
I said no. You sold it to me. I told you that I wasn't a pawn shop. I told you can't buy it back.
Right,
No.
right.
I said you took my money out to the car. You left. I said I don't know if that's the same $100 bill I gave you. No.
Right.
I'm not. No, you can't have it back. And then so she got mad, and then I go, okay. I said you're gonna have it back. You owe me 10%.
Shit. I would have taxed her 20.
You owe me 10% for holding it for you. So you owe me $110.
Right.
And so she got mad and she left. And the next day she pulls up. Next morning she pulls up. And
Right.
I'm not even open yet.
Right.
She pulls up, and I went, oh, here we go.
Right. Waiting
Here
for
we
the
go.
cops to come.
Oh, she's gonna yell.
Right.
She's gonna this. She's gonna that. No, she had gold dollars.
Nice.
And then I made her mad again.
Right.
Because gold dollars aren't real.
Right.
So
What, she had like Susan B. Anthony's or some shit? Sacagaweas?
she had the new ones.
Oh,
The new-
Jesus. Right.
Yeah. And I was like, well, you're going to be, she goes, I've got something I want to sell you. And I'm thinking, weren't you just mad about
Right.
something you sold me last night? But
Right.
okay, whatever.
Right.
And she goes, and, I don't, it's not that I'm trying to rip them off. It's just that I'm not confident when
Yeah.
I look. Go someplace else.
Error on the side of caution.
That's fine. So I take the magnet and I get it to set up on its side, and I took the magnet and moved it.
Right.
And she was like, well, what's that mean? I go, it means there's metal in there and it's not real and I don't want it.
Right.
I said, sorry. I said, you might take it someplace to a different pawn shop, and they might buy it, but I'm not buying it.
Right.
So,
I wonder how she heard about us. Was she missing teeth?
mm-mm.
Really?
Mm-mm.
You ever see her sell gold before?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
Nope.
Fucking setup.
That's not illegal to buy gold.
No.
So
it's not illegal to buy gold.
Who's setting it up?
Yeah,
It's not illegal.
Yeah, we can buy gold all day.
Yep.
I can buy gold. I can buy fucking anything that doesn't need registration all day.
Right.
I can buy guns all day.
Right.
So there's nothing illegal about a person-to-person transaction.
Nope. So, yeah, I just thought it was funny. Bash was like, Chuck, you sounded overly confident in the price you gave her. But you sounded overly confident in a way. I was like, yeah, because I'm winning. And I know I'm most likely winning at that price.
Right.
So
well,
don't bring it into me. That's all I got to tell you. Don't.
What'd you think of that Philly?
I thought it was good.
I thought it was good too.
I'll eat it.
Yeah.
I'll eat it.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was better than the Philly I got at Firehouse Subs.
Well, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, you would think that would be a better, because that's a sandwich. That's a franchise sandwich shop. You think that one would have been a better. No, hers was better.
Yeah, no,
I'd eat it.
I just don't like the bread. I don't like hoagies.
You're gonna have to get over it because that's what everything's on.
I guess.
So
I just don't understand why it's like so much hoagie love around here.
that's what everything's on because it's easy.
Yeah, no shit.
It's easy. So.
All right. I got my dogs crammed into one crate, so I'm gonna go spring them out.
Well,
of jail.
Benny's happy.
Who knows?
Did you get the cat in there too?
No.
Oh, you didn't take the cat?
No.
Get the cat groom?
No.
Cat grooms itself all day, every day.
Right. On my face while I'm trying to sleep.
Right.
He's like, look at my fucking leg.
Right. Right. Watch me lick my balls.
Right. So if you're watching this,
Be jealous.
what time's this drop? 3?
3 o'clock.
All right. So if your bell went off because you set for notifications on YouTube and you're watching this and you have nothing else to do, and you want to get out before it snows on Thursday because we're going to get 9,000 inches of snow, I'm going to be at the Cigar Vault in Pacific, Missouri, Wednesday, and we'll be there till about 5-ish. So if it's a good crowd, we'll hang out a little bit, and then after that, we're going to go to 2 Shamrocks and play a little Golden Tee tournament, try to win some money, and then check out what Tim's doing. Tim's knocking a big hole in his wall and expanding. It's a guy that owns 2 Shamrocks.
Oh.
So, good cigar guy. Shares the Table 36 stuff on the internet, which is pretty cool. Appreciate the shares.
I need to get, are you going to be in Alton today?
Yeah, I'm going back to Alton right now.
Grab the GoPro.
Yeah.
You're not going to go do the laser thing?
Yeah, I got to do the laser thing too.
So, you got to meet Jeff up here tomorrow, right?
I don't have to meet Jeff.
Well, Jeff's going with you to Potosi.
Oh, yeah. Pacific.
So, if you can.
Pacific.
Whatever.
Well,
Pacific.
for the audience.
P. Starts with a P.
Right.
If you can, grab the GoPro stuff.
Okay.
Because I should have grabbed it last night, and I was too busy thinking about how I'm going to get into that safe.
I know. We got a drill.
Grab the GoPro and my grinder. I need my grinder up here.
Okay.
So
I'll bring both. I'll pick it. I saw it today because I had to go down there to get the snow shovel and salt for the yoga building. So I think I have 10 stops in already today before this podcast, and then fucking 5 more to go. So I was going to clean up that Alton shop, but just, vacuum that shit up. And
in the back.
Probably should take down the shop back.
Probably.
So, yeah. Was this 56?
56.
So
56.
yeah. So if you're a cigar customer, keep an eye on the Facebook pages for the cigar shop pages to see if we're going to be closed if there's 9,000 inches of snow.
Right.
We will not be staying home. We're going to go do something stupid. But
as soon as I'm able to leave in that truck, I'll be across the street in the Titty Church parking lot.
Right. Getting wild around the boobs.
Right.
So we unrolled a Tatiana. It's a flavored cigar. Tatiana is a massive company. So I unrolled one for one of the hip hop artists, and in the Hip Hop Anonymous
Hip hop anonymous.
Right, Hip Hop Anonymous. I just went to the Adam Sandler movie. Anyway, I unrolled it and I pulled out that whole thing and I showed, as it just crumbles together.
Right.
And what's fun is the binder is, I assume, tobacco. I mean, it smells good, but
it's probably.
I think it's compressed tobacco.
Yeah, it's probably like a pressed.
Yeah, like it's so. I would say probably not hand rolled.
No, well.
but this was shit. Sorry, Brad.
Like there isn't cream shake all over the place.
Right. So God, well, I'm trying not to get it all over my own clothes. Fuck. So anyway, so if you're into smoking herb, the Tatiana will give you 2 wrappers to.
There you go.
To roll up.
There you go.
And then a bunch of pipe tobacco to give to your grandpa, who would be probably my age.
Right.
So they had a rap battle right where we were sitting. A rap battle. It was packed. It looked real good.
I don't know why they didn't do it out there. Why did they do it in here?
So they did it in here to look more full. So they shot the video in here. A lot of it was out there, but for the video shoot, it was in here, and it looked fantastic. It really did. Like the black, like everything's just dark and grimy. I know. So it was. All right.
It's good. I like his painting of Bob Dylan on the wall over there.
Yeah.
Change the subject.
Yeah, hip hop Dylan. So
right, fits in so well.
It does. So but no, it looked really good. It was nice to have a little revenue on a Saturday night from 8 to midnight, and poor Jeff had to listen to all of it.
What he gets.
No wonder this dude runs off and gets married to move out right away. He's like, you know what,
he'll
Mike? F you.
Back.
6 months?
Yeah, he'll be back.
1 year?
A year.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
So we're going to leave that space open.
Right.
And then I got Josh moving into the Glenwood house. So, because obviously the house is the strongest house in the world.
Yes.
It's therefore.
That one is haunted.
That one is definitely haunted by the contractor. The ghost of the contractors have built that son of a bitch.
Right.
They refuse to let anything bad happen to that house. So we've been through 2 4th of Julys. I don't know why somebody just can't aim a Roman candle at the son of a bitch, but whatever.
Well, that kid behind it does aim Roman candles at the damn.
I can't wait to hear Josh's stories about this.
Old Bobby Boucher aiming Roman candles at it.
I should have painted a target on the roof so that way people would have shut their fireworks off at it. But yeah, so he's going to move in there. I'm not charging him a lot. So, it's better than no money.
Right.
So, and it has a house to live in. So
it's just sitting empty anyway.
Right. So I told him, I said, go buy light bulbs. He goes, oh, I got a pack of light bulbs. I go, they're the smallest light bulbs I've ever seen. That's what's in the ceiling fan lights.
Oh,
it's those tiny
Christmas.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
So I took light bulbs over there, know, and I'm like, so I get the globe off the ceiling fan.
They left.
Well, no, I took the ceiling fan off, and there's a bulb there. It's out, right? So it's the tiny one. And I was like, that explains why the refrigerator light bulb is out. They took it out to put it in a fucking ceiling fan light. Yes. I'm like, God damn it.
That's just smart.
It is smart. I mean, if you're not paying rent, you ain't gonna fucking go buy a light bulb. Right. So, so Josh gets a house to live in cheap, and then because he's got a dog. That was kind of Josh has a dog, so he rescued a dog. And he's like, man, I'll find a place for this dog to go, before I move up there. And I was like, bro, just keep the dog. Here's a whole house.
Right.
I don't care if the dog chews the house apart.
Why would you care if there was a dog in back anyway?
Well, for one recording.
He's going to run out and piss on the tires, and that's about it.
Well, unless he's chewing a chopper or something. I don't know. It's just, let's not have a dog here. Right. That house has a yard. You know, I don't want to hear the dog barking. I don't want to, you know, I got enough fucking stress.
Them stupid pugs. Every morning, right about the same time every morning, they get to barking, and barking turns into whining and howling.
Who's got pugs?
My daughter's got pugs.
Oh, I didn't know.
And they turn into, that's the one that jumps.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And as if her face wasn't smashed in already, smashing it in some more. And they every morning I lay in my bed and I think I'm gonna kill them little son of bitches. So hey, what happens is the healer is outside, and a cattle walk across the backyard, and of course he's got to bark at it.
Right.
And then they hear him barking, and so then they start.
Sure.
And then but he shuts up. Like as soon as he can't see a cat no more, he's done.
Right.
They can't see anything.
Right.
They just go off.
That's funny. Well, it's like in my house. So the one dog is blind. So, like, Zeus will bark at something, right? Benny's blind in one eye, and he doesn't see very well out of the other, right? So, like, if you move furniture, it's hilarious because he will straight up run into it. So, but Zeus has good vision, good hearing.
You love moving furniture, that poor dog.
Yeah. So,
no wonder he's stupid. He's got brain damage.
Yeah, he does, for real. I thought he was dumb. Because he would just run into walls and shit, and then we figured out that he can't see out of one side. Like if you take him for a walk, right, and he'd walk fine on one side. You take him on a walk and when he's on the other side of you, like if you're holding two dogs, that son of a bitch will get in front of you, trip on. You know, I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? You know, like, so we figured out he's blind. So and his vision, his other eye is not very good. So Zeus will yell at any Amazon, UPS, anything. Dude, if it's that color blue,
right,
that dog knows, right? He hates that motherfucker. So he will bark, like he's protecting the house. He's doing what he was supposed to do. Benny will be looking at the wall barking too because he knows he should be barking at something. He just doesn't know what the fuck to bark at. And it's the funniest shit ever. Like Zeus is like barking in the yard at over here. Benny's like completely the opposite direction. Yeah, I'll get him. Like, bro, you don't even know what you're mad at. You're just mad because Zeus is mad.
Right.
So yeah, so when one gets going, so that's when that one night when the kids were TPing the neighbor's house, Benny barked. And I was like, oh, I'm getting up. Right. Like with this dog hears something, like his hearing's great, right?
Right.
But so he hears something and he barked, and I was like, well, I was up instantly. I'm like, Zeus is gonna bark at anything. Right. Fucking a big fat leaf goes by, he's gonna think it's a squirrel. So, but Benny barked, and I was like, oh, this. So I got up, and sure enough, there was a car parked where it wasn't supposed to be. So
well, that's like Kevin. The pit bull.
Yeah.
He doesn't bark at nothing.
Really?
Like he'll sit there and look at Blue like, are you stupid? It's a cat.
No shit.
Why are you mad at that cat?
Just
we can't
chill.
even go eat it. Why are you? What's the problem?
Man, so it's been colder, and the rabbits have been running around a little bit more,
right,
in the yard. And fucking Zeus, man, that dude will eat them. Like he eats the babies like oysters, man. Just gulps them down. So
that's sad.
So the big rabbits, man. He's not the brightest though. He can't figure out their patterns, like how they run.
Right.
And so he just assumes they're going underneath the shed. So he run, like the rabbit will be sitting over here, right? Like in the chain, and still in the fence. Zeus is circling the fucking shed because he just assumes,
right?
Because it ran behind it. So it had to have ran under it.
One of them went over there once, so that's where they all go now.
Yeah. Oh, dude. He'll crawl under that shed. Like he tries. He can't get under there. He's hilarious, man. He's so excited to eat some shit, man. So like when we were down at the lake, we took him with us, and we go to some little island or beach or whatever, and there's all these dead carp everywhere. He gets out, man, just straight sushis and sashimis everywhere, bro. It was just, he just instantly like hops down, picks one up, walking around with a big old fish in his mouth, and I'm like, drop it, and so he's like, what about this skeleton? I'm like, no, bro, just leave this shit. I'm like, let's go somewhere. I don't know what's going on in Kentucky Lake, man, but they got a shit ton of Asian carp dead. So
it's Asian carp.
Well, right.
They just jump straight up out of the water.
Yeah, so but they're dead in the water, floating. I mean, I don't know if they figured out a way to kill only that one species, which I doubt, but maybe. So, because you can use them almost as markers. Like, you just see the silver, because they're so big.
Right.
Dude, they're floating. And then each beach that we went to, I mean, there's probably 20.
They just straight jump out of the water.
Well, I'm with that, but I mean,
I mean, once if they jump the wrong direction,
sure.
It's so shallow.
Yeah.
They're gonna, get washed
yeah.
up.
And it's weird. They don't have a tide, but they do like start dropping the water towards the fall to do winter pool. And, but yeah, it's, we were there midsummer and it was, I mean, the amount of fish everywhere. I mean,
they don't have a tide.
No, but they drop
the
it.
Boats. Well, the boats are going to cause a wake, which is going to cause wash.
Yeah. No, we were in spots that didn't have wake, like little swimming holes and shit like that. They don't have any current at all. It's like little bays, pretty much, right? So was gross. It was wild how much dead fish were. I mean, Zeus thought it was the greatest thing ever.
They've got to have some sort of current because otherwise they would go stagnant, and there has to be some sort of current there.
Well, I don't know if there's current. I mean, there's a lot of industry on that lake.
There's got to be some sort of movement of the water, or it'll go stagnant and it'll stink so bad that you won't be able to go nowhere near it.
Yeah. Well, there's parts of those bays that are stagnant. Like, I mean, it's a man-made lake, So, I mean, it's there's a dam that feeds it, and that's your current. It's just the water coming in from the dams. Right. I think there's like 2 or 3 dams around that lake.
Right. There's probably enough current there to stop it from being stagnant.
Right. Well,
in certain places.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We were out in the middle of Kentucky Lake, and we're in the channel, so we're just kind of just chilling, and it's almost like, I mean, I don't want to say it's like the ocean, but I mean, it's hard to see land. I mean, you're fucking far from land. So, and then I ate an edible, so I was like super fucking high, and I just sat there and like I wish I could swim somewhere. Like I didn't like it. I didn't like the edible, and then the terrible Irish song that was playing on the radio for like 2 days. And I'm like, and you're stuck. You're trapped. So the paranoia kicks in. Right. You're trapped on this fucking boat, and there's this Irish song that's going so long that you don't.
You're not really trapped, but
I'm trapped. I feel trapped. Like my legs aren't working. Like I was fucked up. So. Are you going to put something together for this Friday from whatever we have?
Yeah, when you bring the GoPro up,
okay.
I'll put it.
I'll bring it up either today or tomorrow. I don't know what. No, it'll probably be tomorrow morning. I'll bring it up. I'll stop by and clean that place up tonight. So.
Yeah, I'll put that together. There's got to be something for Friday.
Yeah,
I don't have nothing for Friday.
Yeah, so we'll have a fuck it up Friday. Literally fucked it up Friday.
Literally.
And then
all that work just to be denied.
There was so that was absolutely the worst feeling, was seeing more doors. Like, we worked so hard.
It didn't bother me seeing the doors. It's when the doors didn't open.
Well, yeah, no, there's that too.
You gotta lock the safe inside the safe that's locked.
Right, and then if it's the model I think it is that I found online, there's more doors. So we might as well just get like all the bits, all the drill bits.
Can't be more doors.
I think there's like 2 small doors here.
No way.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Way.
We'll find out, because
maybe those are unlocked.
Nothing's going to be unlocked.
Maybe those.
This is much like my bank account. Like, I worked so hard just to get nowhere.
Here's my worry. My worry is that because we're not going to get to none of that mechanism. We're not. We'll be able to drill through the lock and maybe disable the combination lock from drilling through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We might be able to get it unlocked by disabling the lock.
Sure.
But then all the mechanism is going to be rusted solid, just like it was on the outside.
Well, yesterday before I left, I hosed down every crease, corner, like put the straw in, like even where we cut, right? Just in case. And I went through almost that whole can of PB Blaster. I hosed it all down.
That's what I'm worried about, because we're not going to be able to get to any of it. We don't know where it is, for starters. We don't know where none of the mechanisms are. So
I got an idea, because I looked what looked like this safe. I looked it up, so that's why I think there's more locking drawers involved.
We're literally going to have to drill hole after hole after hole after hole after hole just to find the mechanisms.
Well, I think that we start with that hole from the knob,
Right. Yeah,
And-
that's where I'm going to start. I'm
Yeah.
going to drill a hole straight through.
Yep, as far as it goes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Until I can see inside.
Yep.
And then maybe.
Ooh, get a little scope.
Yep, because I've been wanting to go buy a scope anyway.
There we go. All right. Hey,
go.
let's end this because I want to pee.
All right.
Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. And if you haven't, go back and check Fix It Friday with the Grande.
Yeah.
It was actually a pretty good. Chuck pieced together a pretty good little episode right there. And thanks to the neighbor who bought it. And right, and now it's not a problem.
Right.
Not our problem.